Hello, this is Jeff L. Gilbert. I want to welcome you to this live call. So I'm going to talk about how to lock your people in. How do you do that? And for those of you that do not know me, I've been involved in network marketing for over 40 years. I share a lot of what I've learned in my journey on these live calls. I started in this business totally broke. I had to sell a junk truck to get started, put $200 in my business. Last 27 years, I've been full-time in network marketing. I love it. If that interests you, then keep listening. We're going to be flying out tomorrow, so we're going to go to Anthony Robbins' Business Mastery in West Palm Beach. So we're taking the family there. Some will get to play, but not me. And so we'll be I'll be sharing, from there. It won't start tomorrow. Tomorrow's registration day, I think. Anyway, but then Mindy said escaping to sunny Florida, but it's not like I'm gonna be in the sun, I wish I was gonna be in the sun. Hey, Nicole, nice to see you. But actually, we're going to be, in classroom. What can I say? 5-6 days. I haven't looked at the schedule. And then I'll be sharing some of the, the highlights that I get out of that. It's amazing that the ticket price on that thing is much higher. It's much higher than Date with Destiny. And Bethany, what's up? Good to see you. So, you get those nuggets for free. So, but I'll be glad to share them with you, because the one thing that a lot of people, I guess, a lot of people do this when they get involved in network marketing. Julio, what's up? Is that they don't treat it like a business. They treat it like a hobby. The difference is hobbies cost you money. They don't make you money. And so when you come into this and people think that, I want to make money with this, then treat it like a business. Because you know what? People that treat it like a business, they work longer hours. They will do more than what's required. Yeah, Mindy says it's a $10,000 ticket. I mean, that's more than, what, twice for a general admission ticket for Date with Destiny. And fortunately, I'm a platinum member, so I was able to get Michelle in for a little less than half that. Anyway, so anyway, I'll share. So treat it like a business, and that means you show up more, you do more, and a lot of people just don't do that. They don't get that, and then people want to say, well, look at network marketing. How many people fail at it? Well, how much did they put into it? It's not like a typical business where the average person puts in 50 grand to start a business, and most of those businesses will fail within 5 to 8 years. So the thing about it is, what we could talk about tonight, that will really help you. And this is an expression, and I chose to use it on this live because I was driving back along the river and I was saying, okay, what needs to be said tonight? And so I was just thinking that, locking people in, that's an expression. I don't know where I got that, or if I got it from me or got it from someone else, but it's just, I've always said that to the leaders. You know, if you want to rank up, grow, become the best in this business, you've got to lock your people in. That's the whole key. Lock them in. Lock them in means retention. Retention. We talked about that last Friday, was it? A few days ago. We talked about that. Someone had the question about, you know, how do I, you know, what do I do to attract more people than I'm losing? Well, we got to approach it from how can we fix it where we're not losing that many people. And I had a man ask me that today, that sent me a question about what's your percentage of retention, and frankly, I haven't kept up with those, you know, with that, because to me, you know, I look at retention a little bit differently. I mean, sure, you got monthly retention, bi-monthly retention, and then, you know, like in 90 days, what does it really look like? To me, that's the health of an organization. I don't fix it just, you know, for just 30 days. But it's okay to ask that question about 30-day retention. You know, the one thing, you know, that I've noticed, at least in myself, I don't have this. Okay. Oh, that was the wrong one. But I think you can barely see that. Let's try that again. Now, wouldn't you know, if that's a permanent marker, who did that to me? I'll be right back. No, wait, I think I can do this without. No, hang on. What did Ray say? Move forward imperfectly? That's one of these moments. I'll make sure that thing ends up in the garbage. I don't know why. The kids must have planted that on me. Permanent marker. So what you want to do is do activities that keep people with you in the game. And that's the thing to do. So when we now, okay, so this is what we don't want. And you see the ups and the downs. Here, I'm going to get my lights. Hopefully that's going to help. So, you know, when you're here, you go into a nice restaurant, you're eating on the right side of the menu. When you're here, you're eating on the left side of the menu. Yeah, just appetizers, right? That's all you can afford for that month. So what you want to do is, this is not what you want month after month. You don't want a roller coaster. You know, nobody's going to have perfect numbers. No one's going to just climb perfectly and forever be on a roll. It doesn't work that way. You know, it doesn't work that way for Apple either, remember? Remember when Steve Jobs was out and they were flat? Matter of fact, they were in decline, and then he came back in with the iPhone. Look at their sales. Brought the company back to start growing again. So the thing about it is, you're going to have it where you're going to plateau. So this is not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about, but if you have this, then that's a real problem. Because you're going to lose a lot of people in the dips right here. That's where you're going to lose a lot of people. And that's what you don't want. You don't want dips. Now, so that's the reason why it's important to lock them in. Okay. Dry eraser. That's what it said. So, here's what we want to do. We want to talk about a few things, what we can do to lock people in. Here's your first. And I'm going to turn this ring light down a little bit because it's just too distracting. There we go. So here's your first on locking them in. First is communication. Communication, which means if you want to have good retentions with your, and I apologize, you know what, I should have flipped the screen. You can't see this. So as one of these nights, I tell you what, I came in this place very tired because I was out. I had to do a lot of things and I haven't even packed for tomorrow. So screw the board. I'm going to tell you what you need to do. Number one is communication. If you have customers, make sure you have regular emails going out every month talking about, you know, it could be stories about your products. You're sharing what some of your customers are experiencing. Also, other products that you think that they'll be interested in. You got to have communication. Second, you have to have Facebook product groups to support the education about your products, your services, whatever you're doing. So have that in place and you're going to have much better retention. We're talking about locking people in. And then what you want to make sure that you're doing when it comes to your leaders, same process. You want to be able to make sure you have good communication, Zoom calls with your leaders, as well as a Facebook group where they can share what's going on in their business. It's all about creating stories, excitement. But in the absence of that, how are you going to grow? In the absence of that, nobody's motivated to do anything. Now, here's the other thing. This would be the other thing that you need to do. When you have new people join, get them in the money as fast as you can. Remember the movie Jerry Maguire, remember? When Jerry wanted to recruit that ball player, he said, what did he say? Show me the money, Jerry, show me the money. Okay. And that's what you have to do with new people, show them the money. Now, so in other words, if I join your company, what have I got to do to make some money? I'm not talking about a six-figure income, okay? Nobody's going to do that. I'm saying make an impression on me. I'm not talking about something super difficult here. I mean, if I made $500, $300, is that possible in your company? If I joined you this month and I said, show me the money, $300, what do I got to do? You know, whatever, you know, so you know your compensation plan. What are your activity examples? Do this and you get that. So what is that? So that's different with different leaders in different companies because we all have different compensation plans, different reward systems, things like that. But you're going to have to show them the money, get them in the money. And I remember that, you know, years ago, and, you know, they probably still agree with this, that anybody who at least reached $300, you had them pretty much locked in. Why? Not that they want to stay at $300, but they've never made $300 in a side gig before. So in the side gig society today that we have, that we never had 21 years ago when I started in my last company, we didn't have any competition. On the product side, there was no Amazon competing against us. And then we didn't have Uber and Lyft and Amazon on the entrepreneurial side for people that want to make money, or eBay, or so many other things out there that people now can do. So the thing about it is, understand you have the advantage on showing them the money because, and I will use that board in a second. I did think of one thing I am going to use it for. But because what you do is residual, the others are not. So it's just linear income. You know, if I want to go drive an Uber, I got to trade time for money. If I want to drive for Lyft, trade time for money. If I want to do Amazon, yes, trade time for money. If I want to do eBay, trade time for money. So the advantage that you have is that with your side gig versus that side gig. Yours is residual, that is not. And so show them the money. It's very important to get them in the money the first month. Now, if you say, well, Jeff, I'm not in the money, that's not the issue. The issue is they're not in the money. It's not about you. It's not about you. They're not in the money yet. If you get them in the money, then you'll be in the money. That's the way you got to think. Okay? So I understand. You might say, crap, I haven't made any money. That's because you haven't found any good people yet, or you're not working with the ones you have. Okay? Let's say you work with the ones you have. You did everything right, and they're still not moving. Those are called consumers. Go find a team. Not everybody's wired the same. We're not all wired the same. You know, somebody said that to me one day, and I wasn't even talking about it. The guy doesn't even know me, and he said, but when I was describing what we do, how we create residual income, he says, you know, it sounds too good to be true. I said, yeah, it might sound too good to be true, but the fact is, so many are doing it. And it all begins with simple activities that we do to create that money. So if you find somebody and you got a new person, you want to get them in those activities that's going to show them the money, even if they make a couple $100, $300, like I mentioned. Once you get them in that, once they make 3, they believe they can make 6. Once they make 6, they believe they can make 12. Once they make 12, they believe they can make 24. You see what I'm saying? But it all begins with the smaller numbers. So show them the money, lock them in, and you got them for life. And that's very important because they're going to do the same thing when they bring people in. What are they going to do? They need to lock them in. So once you start developing a team that way, and I'll tell you another step that you can do, and I know a woman who was a master at it in my organization. I know a woman. Anyway, but she was really big on promotions. You know, if you get to this rank, you're going to be awarded this business tool. She always picked business tools, whether it was smartphones or laptops or just something to do that would have something to help them with their business. It might be a reward somewhere where they go to for 2 days, they go to a place and they're rewarded. Well, you might say, well, I can't afford that. No. I understand that. I'm talking about usually when you offer those kind of incentives, that's generally after a team is developed. But there are other people that are in that team, so it's not one person who is paying for that. And we're not talking about sure, a smartphone it's not cheap, but you can get good deals. And you can get good deals on laptops. You can get good deals on just a lot of different business tools that you can use, or a place where you give them a room and they're able to come to a special place where they can be trained. But when you look at the people that are going to be paid by that activity, when you got a team producing, look at the people who are getting paid on that team. Who are these people? Are they involved in the future, the future of that team? And if so, then they can contribute, which is something that I always did. And I did that. And so there were people that were above her, between me and her, that also contributed too. So it really didn't cost us a lot, but at the same time, now do we do that every month? No, I don't recommend that every month. Because what you'll do is you'll spoil them. You'll enable them if you do that. Your compensation plan should be enough. But it's cool to put out, just to break the routine where people get into a routine of staying in their comfort zone when it comes to performance. So what's good to do is to break that and then get them to do more. And then all of a sudden you got an influx of new people that have joined. And as a result, it's, then you start seeing growth. So it's something that you do every now and then, but you don't make a practice of it, but it does work, and I've seen it work. And I've watched this woman break so many rank positions. I mean, it was like when you went to a convention over there in Southeast Asia, in this case, Malaysia, It was like, wow, sit down. It's going to be a while because they're gonna have all the people who hit that rank come across the stage, get their award. Next rank, come across stage, get. They're going to be doing this for 45 minutes, and that's incredible when you think about it. Because I at the same time there were teams that were other teams in the company, and they were just sitting there, and they hardly had anybody going on stage. So this woman was a real wizard when it came to coming up with promotions and things like that. But again, I would say the most important thing here, again, is locking them in, get them in your side gig, get them to making money when they join is the beginning of it all. But what can you do? Let's just say that you have a team, and it's a fairly decent team, and it's filled with different leaders. And can you believe I was about to do that again? I'll be back. I'm going to throw this in the garbage. There. I'm not going to have that problem again. Okay, so grab that same pen. You'd have thought I would learn the first time. So, in that case, well, I should have left the title. So, anyway. So, if you have yourself here, okay, and let's just say that you have, let's just say your compensation plan basically says if you can max out 3 legs to this position, then you have the ultimate position, okay? So, but the problem is, most of these legs everything's based on performance, it's based on volume, right? That's the way all companies are. So, but let's just say in these legs here, that you've got too many sleepers. Too many sleepers. And, you know, this person, he's like out of the game. Out of the game. Same thing here. All companies are made up of sleepers, you know. There's only a few people that really go beyond what is required. No surprising. It's that way just about in any profession. Even in ball teams. Look at the Super Bowl right now, how it's going, you know, with these great teams. You know, look at Kansas, look at the 49ers right now. You know, I mean, it takes a lot of work to go to the Super Bowl, right? To perform so well. But how do you take an organization, and let's just say that some of these people are okay. You know, they're okay. They're, you know, some are producing a little, but you're lacking. Let's just say that this is your big leg. Let's just imagine it going to China. So this is your star leg. That's your biggest leg. Here's your second biggest leg. But here's your third biggest leg. But being your third biggest leg is really not that big. And you don't really have enough volume to qualify for your next rank position where you want to go. So what do? You can do some of the things that I just mentioned. Let me also mention taprooting. How many of you heard me teach on taprooting? Taprooting means that you go down somewhere here and you you start working with somebody down there that you never knew before. Go to your back office, look at your rank reports, look at your reports, your downline reports. Look, who's producing a lot of this volume down there? Anybody that's ranking up, that's just starting to rank up, maybe they just joined your company, you don't even know who they are, but all of a sudden, you have this woman that's just come in like boom, and she's starting to do something. Now you have some hope that this leg might just come alive, and then now you've got a real shot at a rank position, but you're still like, let's say, 30,000 points off, $30,000 off, if you will. So what do you do with that kind of a situation? Well, the beauty of taprooting means that you go down here and then you work with that person and you help that person. Now, here's what you do. In doing so, here's what happens. Then you create a fire. And then the heat goes up. And then you got all these people here just going crazy, man. They're saying, gosh, look at all this volume. I want to get paid on it. I want to get paid on it. And so now you've got all these people in the upline of that performer now scrambling. Now all of a sudden they got goals. Now all of a sudden they're interested in really getting this thing moving. Because why? The fear of loss is a bigger motivator than the pleasure of gaining. That's right. See, you talked about the dream. You talked to all these people about the dream. What they can have, the life they can have. And you saw nothing coming from it. What's wrong with these people? Don't they have dreams? No, they don't have faith. They don't have any faith. But now, you got this rookie down here going crazy and going after it. She's tearing it up now. Why? Because you're working. You're going down into your team. You're tap rooting. The tap root in a root, if you look at a tree system's roots, that the tap root is the deepest part. That's what keeps that tree in place when the storms come. In the absence of it, they blow over. If anything happens to that tap root. So, this is the strength of how to lock people in once you have a team in place. Again, in the beginning, it's running with them, helping them make that $300. Now they believe that it's possible to make 6. Then they get to 6 and they believe it's possible to make 12. Next thing you know, you get enough people believing that way, then you start seeing an organization getting deep with people, and then you start tap rooting. And then you say, you know what, it's time to go to another level. I am not going to the convention at that rank position. I'm going to push it. I'm going to do what I normally don't do, which is get out of my comfort zone, put more time in. I'm going to talk to strangers in my downline. I'm going to go in my back office, get their phone numbers, call them up on the phone saying, hello, I don't know you, I'd like to know you. And then if you have Facebook, which I assume you do if you're on this call, maybe, then add them to your Facebook, put them in C first, because you can do that up to what, 30 people? And make sure that you're connecting with these people. Make sure you see what they post. And those are things that you want to do. So again, by tap rooting, dropping down, that creates the fire, the heat goes up, they're all scrambling. I've done this many times. And it's funny to watch it. I'm like, man, you guys wouldn't do this for the dream, but you'll do this because you're about to lose something. Oh, that's people. Don't try to figure them out. It is what it is. And sometimes it's a crazy business we're in, but we're in the people business, okay? Maybe we add to that craziness, okay? But that's you create that heat. Heat goes up. Now, I'm going to give you another step. Now, this is one they don't talk about. This is one they don't talk about much, and a lot of people don't do this. And the reason why they don't do this is because they don't understand network marketing is a business. What do I mean by that? Well, if you owned a franchise, let's say Kentucky Fried Chicken, okay? And after so many years, you decide, you know what, I got this well established. I think I'll sell it. I'm going to sell my franchise. Let someone buy me out. Can they do that? Of course they can do that. There's a lot of people that will buy a struggling business, and then they'll turn it around and get it in profit, and then they'll turn around and sell it. There's people that do that for a profession. You can also do that in network marketing. The difference is it doesn't have to be profitable. In fact, you don't want it to be. But it's important that there's business. What do I mean by that? I mean that if you have a downline, let's say you look down in your team. And let's go back to this person as the example. Can everybody see that? I guess so. Okay. This person at the bottom there, okay? And just imagine that line continuing down, and they're in the tree. There's, could be hundreds, maybe even thousands of people, right? But for some reason, this person doesn't have any more legs. So in other words, this person's not ranking. They're on auto ship, maybe they're collecting $100 a month. I've seen this many times. But they're not building it. Why are they not building it? I mean, they got an oil well there. All you have to do is drill, baby, drill. You know where the oil is. Get the oil, drill, bring it over here. Yeah, right here, drill. No, they don't do that. Why? They don't want to do it. That's the answer. I've seen this many times, in many times, through the years, many times. So what do? Here's what you never hear this discussed much. You really don't. What do is you call this person down here and say, hey, Debbie, I noticed you haven't, you're not working your position. I'm not getting on to you, okay? I'm not getting on to you, Debbie. I noticed you're not working your position. And then, of course, she's going to say, well, yeah, I'm just busy. And, I'm just busy. I got other things going on. Oh, yeah, sure. I get that. I get that, Debbie. I really do get that. So have you ever thought about selling your position? Debbie goes, no, I never knew you could do that. Oh, yeah, you can do that. If you people out there, look at your policies and procedures. And it should be in there. You should be able to find it. I know nobody likes reading the policies and procedures. I know it's not interesting. It's like reading a book you don't want to read, right? But read it and you'll find, and this is true I can't imagine a company that doesn't do this, but they'll allow you to, if you die, you can will your position to somebody. Well, if you can will it, you can sell it. And so in this case, then Debbie, you ask Debbie to, about that. And then Debbie's gonna say, well, I don't know. Maybe, what would it be worth? Well, how much are you making now? Well, I'm making $100 a month. Well, would you want to sell it for $500? You tell me. Well, I might want to sell it for $800. Okay. Now, how do you determine the value of that position? Okay, look at your compensation plan. Let's say that you had another ranking leg. So another ranking leg, you're not wearing your mask. And so he's got this Star Wars mask. He's been trying to scare me. Anyway, but if you added that another leg that was a ranking leg, look at the compensation. What would it pay out? And that's what you got to look at. Let me give you an example. I don't mind sharing this. And let me add something to that. Let's say you prospect somebody and they sound like they would really be great. And they say, well, listen, I got a team. I want to bring them over and all that. And then you're thinking, you know what? I just spoke with Debbie. And you tell that leader, say, hey, I tell you what. I've got somebody who'd like to right now sell their position, and tell you what, you could buy it from her, put that team in, and you would already rank at some serious income. That's another way to lock people in. Matter of fact, with that method, you can lock in several people. Why? Is this a Ponzi scheme, a pyramid scheme? For those hecklers out there, get a life. This is about people that chose not to be in business, but they have a position and they have business under it. Do you understand that? And if they agree to sell their business, not their Ponzi scheme, okay? Their business, and somebody works the business, they're in the money. Suck it up, okay? They're in the money. That's what it's about. And so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get this person who's never going to work the business, since she had, why would I do that? Now, some might say, well, couldn't you block some volume? Because if you're at the rank and they're at the same rank you are, no. If I want to get to the next rank, I'm never going to get there by keeping people down. So I don't care if this person goes a rank above me. It doesn't matter to me. because I just want to get to the next rank, and most companies require performance. That's volume, okay? And you've got to produce it. If you're not going to produce it, you're never going to get there. So that means you've got to put highly motivated people in your business. But how can you take a dead leg? Well, I say it's dead. It's dead, let's just say 3, 4, 5 levels deep, not much happening, right? Way down there, somebody, you start working with somebody, they come alive. Or, in this case, a woman's got a business under her. She's not working it. She's not working it. I've got people that have millions of dollars under them, under their positions. They don't work it. What do you call that? Well, for me, stupid. But for them, I'm just as happy as I can be. But I'll tell you, but it's really a true example. And so, so in my case, and I don't know, companies are different, but in my case, I can remember one time, this was years ago, there was a guy that had, right down there, he had over $1 million every month going on under him, but he was only making $100, $200. He wasn't ranking. He wasn't any rank. So I call him up and I said, hey, Carl, would you like to sell your business? And because I know you're not working it. And he's like, no, I don't think so. I think I'll keep it. Oh, okay. All right. No problem. No problem. So then I didn't give up. I know Carl's not going to work it. I know he's not going to. And I'm saying, you know what? I want to get this leg up in volume. So then I called him back at Christmas and I said, Carl, just want to check with you again, you know, see if you ever considered selling your spot, your business. He said, okay, I'll sell it. Okay, great, man, great. What would you like for it? Well, it's got over $1 million under it. $5,000. $5,000. Okay, there was a leader, and she wanted that spot, and turned out that you know, and you know what that position ended up earning that person? $30,000 a month. Got that for $5,000. What was, I mean, you know, you look at that like, get off your butt, man. Build another leg. You're going to be in this case, a couple of more legs, you know, 2 more legs. Build it and look, I mean, you got the oil well is under you. All you got to do is go get the drill and drill. Do the work, the money comes. It's a business. But that's another way to lock people in. And so even when you do that, then again, so whether you taproot and you go down and work with that person that drives seed up, or you go down and say, hey, you got this, you know, you look in your genealogy chart and you look for these inactive people that are sitting on volume, and then just say, hey, you know, let's say you find a good runner, a good leader, say, hey, you ever thought about selling your position? And you get that leader in, man, that person knows what to do with it. She knows what to do with it. She's going to bust it out. And then the heat's going to go up. Next thing you know, that's a $2 million leg. You went to the next rank anyway. You accomplished what you wanted to do. And so that's the thing. When you have legs that are not performing, taprooting is usually going to be what you need to do. And that means communicating, get involved with those people, be connected with those people, help those people. And then if you've got somebody that once that leg really starts to grow, and then you've got what we call dead spots, inactive businesses, went out of business, sale on the front of their position, and yet they got business down below them, but they just won't perform to get paid on it. And then you plug in really good leaders. You just find good leaders, great incentives. Now is that the custom? No. Is that something people do often? No. I'm just giving you strategies on what you can do to rank people. So in the early stages, again, to repeat this, You want to get them to $300? Lock them in. Once they're at 3, they believe they can make 6. Once they're making 6, they believe they can make 12. Once they make 12, they believe they can make 24. That's how you grow teams. But you got to show them the money, like Jerry Maguire that guy told him. So that's number 1. Number 2 is then you have to taproot and drive your legs deep. Get down in there, find people, meet the people, greet the people, work with the people. And then when your organization starts really developing, you've got a nice root system, you don't want to stop now. You want to keep developing your legs so you can rank. I mean, I don't know about you, but if I'm going to be in a company, I'm going to be in a company. And I'm not shooting for the middle position. You know, I'm gonna shoot for the top position. So that means I'm gonna look at the health of my organization. And when I've got dead spots or people who went out of business, but they got business under them, then I'm gonna pick up the phone and say, hey, I guess you don't want to work this, right? I mean, I'm not getting on to you. No, I'm busy, I'm blah, 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 blah. Well, have you ever thought about selling it? And then you're plugging people in. What does that do? Now all of these out of businesses are in business. All these dead spots that were never performing are performing. And now you got legs that are shooting up incredibly in volume. And you know, but like I said, a lot of people think, oh, what if they rank at a rank that's gonna block me? Forget it, man. I mean, even if I'm gonna lose money, I don't care. Because I'll tell you what, for every rank, we're talking about for a high rank performing position in your compensation plan. Doesn't have to be the top, it can be the next position. But for every one, you have years of security, years of residual income, years that you don't have to be concerned about the health of your organization because it's healthy, because people are performing, they're moving as a team. But too many organizations got too many dead spots. You got too many people that have distributor ID numbers and they're out of business. I still have it. I mean, you're going to have a certain amount of it. But I'm just saying, but when you see opportunities and you can plug people in, it's smart. And it's a great way to strengthen or create a very large leg and team so that it's performing. And then you're rank advancing. And that's the other thing. If you're rank advancing, what are the bonus pools that you could get paid on now from those bonus pools? What about the trips? What about things like that? And see, all that is part of it. But you got to have strong legs. And the reason why people don't have strong legs is they're not communicating. They're not taprooting. They're not working with those people. They're not calling down and saying, hey, I know she's not working it much. You plan to work it, or I'm not getting on to you. It's okay if you don't want to. No, I'm just busy. What? You ever thought about selling? Because you found somebody you know is going to be a performer. Now, I'll tell you what, sometimes you can put somebody in and they don't perform. I've had that happen. I've had it backfire on me, you know. I've kicked myself a few times. So, I would never do it for somebody if they don't show up with a team. They got to show that team first. So don't go by hearsay and don't go by words. Because, the world is full of people who will talk the walk but won't walk the talk. So keep that in mind. So that was the subject I wanted to share, is locking them in and how to lock people in. I gave you different strategies on that. And that last one is an interesting one. It's an interesting strategy, but it does work. And for people who understand that if you can will a business, you can sell a business. Most companies allow that. Then that means when you have people that don't want to perform, but they're sitting on business, but you want to make that business grow, and just ask them. Say, hey, had you thought about selling? But again, don't ask them the question until you have somebody that you want to plug in there. Now, if your company allows you to sponsor or to put your wife in, some companies don't allow that. But there's companies out there that do, and if they do, or if it's a family member, then why not? Why not build the family net worth in your business? And the net worth is the network, and that is work the network by paying attention to that. And if you can plug family members in, then so be it. But again, don't use it as to enable a family member. Don't use it to support grandma, because grandma's not going to build it. That means you got to go down and build that. I don't recommend that. And I'll tell you, again, it's going to be hard enough, and I'll use that word hard. Hey, hecklers out there, I use the word hard. You don't hear easy coming out of my mouth. Okay, big money does not come easy. That comes from hard work. That's what America was built on, hard work. Okay, so the thing about it is, by putting relatives, our grandmother there, you're not helping your grandmother, unless you're going to go down and build it. But again, it's going to be hard enough for you to get to the top position yourself, right? How are you going to divert your energy, your time, your resources that way? I'm going to tell you, I haven't seen hardly anybody do that well, unless that is part of the strategy of achieving the very rank position you need. Now, if it is in that case, okay, I can see it. But I'm going to tell you that I've seen a lot of people stack their relatives in the tree, and the thing is, then they don't do anything. And then the problem is those relatives usually end up blocking them on volume qualifications or certain qualifications that your company requires in the compensation plan. Best thing to do is keep your performers close to you. Keep your legs tight with performers. Get to the top of your plan, then give whatever money you want to grandma. Okay? Here, grandma, here's $5,000. Enjoy it. Here, grandma, I just bought you a car. Okay. But if you're not ranking where you need to be, grandma's not ranking where she needs to be because you diverted your resources, the people that you sponsored, your time, and if your time is limited, that's another issue. Then she's not doing any good, you're not doing any good, you shot your foot. These are strategies I'm giving you, and I'm giving it to you based out of experience. So best thing to do, and that's always what I've told my people, keep your performers close to you, keep your legs tight with performers, don't stack in relatives who aren't going to do anything and they block qualifications. That's not going to help you. I've seen a lot of people do that. And believe me, I've been guilty of it too. I've been guilty of it. That's why I learned these things. And then I learned, because of his toy habit. Well, you should have had your mask. Because of his toy habit? No. Anyway, you could take that money then, and if you want to help grandma out with it, then that's the way to do it. Because you're not going to have any money the other way. Because you're not ranking, she's not ranking, or any of these other relatives. Your mom, I know you love your mother and your dad and all that, you want to do things for them. But I'm going to tell you, it's been my experience that people that try to, put them in that way, and then they shot their foot. They shot their foot on their qualifications. So, but if you can do it with your qualifications and that all works out, great. For example, my wife, Michelle, okay? She's in my tree, right? And of course, I built under my wife. I have to, that's the duty of a husband, right? And so she's got a very decent rank, very decent income. But just look at it that way. If your company allows it, some companies don't, then you can't put a spouse in. But still, keep the strategy focused on one thing. It's about performance. It's not about milking an organization. It's about performance. And so, again, a legitimate business performs, a legitimate business has customers, a legitimate business sells products to customers. And all those positions are legitimate businesses that people can sell. And so keep that in mind, that if they're not going to work it and it's got a business down there, but it's not ranking, you can change that rank by sponsoring some good drivers, good leaders, and now you took an out of business position into business. I've done it many times. And it helped create massive legs. So keep that in mind. You can take, I've seen some teams, very low performing team, totally turn it around. You know, I remember one team I did that with. It was only doing like 10,000 points, and turned it around. Next thing I know, it was doing 70,000 points in a very short period of time. It's amazing how you can inspire people to really go for it. Sort of like the Super Bowl. Look at some of these teams that are going there now. Highly motivated, very inspired. So keep that in mind again. And for those of you that do not have a team really developed yet, and keep in mind what I said, lock them in by when, work with these leaders, help them sponsor, but get them in the money. Hit that $300 income, and then watch them smile, because now they got money to play. Take the kids to the movies, take the family to, a nice upscale restaurant, so they're not just paying the bills anymore. Now they get to have fun again. How many families want to have fun again? And all you got to do is lock them in, show them the money, get them earning an extra $300. Once they hit the 3, they believe they can do more. And then you've locked them in. So I hope you got some value out of this. So tomorrow, our family's off to West Palm Beach, where we are going to the Business Mastery with Tony Robbins over there. And anyway, I'll give you some shout outs from over there, and some values and some live calls. And I'm going to share some of the things that I'm learning. Anytime I go through an event like that, and I'll tell you the truth, I have no idea what I'm walking into. Okay? So if you're asking me, what are you clear about this? What do you know about this? I don't have a clue. But it's going to be interesting. That I promise you. Because who would pay $10,000 a ticket to go to an event like this, and you're going to have thousands of people there? And how many people there would be interested in network marketing? So, meet some interesting people, but I'll be sharing things that I think are relevant to you, in the sense that you understand that network marketing is a business. It's not a hobby. Remember what I said in the beginning? Hobbies cost you money. They don't make you money. And too many people get in this thinking, I'm going to make money, but I'm going to treat it like a hobby. That's their activity. And then they say, hey, where's the money? Well, it doesn't work that way. So I'll be sharing nuggets of, what I gain out of that. How does this relate to network marketing? How does this relate to you as a network marketing professional that you understand that you are in business? That's what I'll be sharing. So I hope you get something out of that. You enjoy that. And I appreciate all you guys getting on this live call. And I'll see you. I'll give you a shout out tomorrow. Everyone have a great evening.